Forbes, and I'm here today with a fantastic young lady. Her name is Charlotte, and we are going to just talk a little bit to Charlotte about how her life has changed and the critical pieces that she was able to have in her life to completely make a turnaround. And I am really honored to be here with you, Charlotte. So thanks for agreeing to be with me today.
You're welcome.
Well, I met Charlotte about a year ago, right? A year ago.
Over a year.
It was just over a year ago, you're right. And I was brought in to work with Charlotte and her mom and to see what we could do to make things different in her life. And at that time, you had just gotten out of UBC, right? Which is a residential treatment center. And things weren't going so well there. And we wanted to try something different. And her mom was absolutely committed to taking Charlotte with her to do whatever it took, and we'll definitely talk to her mom about that as well. And tell me a little bit, Charlotte, when I first met you, and you had just gotten out of UBC, what was your experience there? What do you remember as far as what it was like for you?
At times I was like scared that something would go wrong, or I'd do something wrong and get in trouble, or somebody in there would like hurt me or something.
So you didn't really feel safe there, is what I'm hearing you say.
I did at times, and at times I didn't.
Okay. What do you think you needed at that time?
I think that they should have had more time to be with the kids than they did.
Oh, okay. And to do what with you?
Like talk more about with the kids.
Now you're 16 years old. You just had a birthday, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
So 16 years old. Tell me a little bit, just as much as you want to share, about when you were a little bit younger. Because all of that had to do with a lot of the struggles that you've had to get through. So can you share with us a little bit about where you've been in your life?
Yeah. I was getting tossed around from home to home. I didn't know what to do or what to say because I was scared. And most of my homes were abusive. There was one or two that wasn't. And I was abused in all three ways: sexually, mentally, and emotionally.
Right. It's pretty scary, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. But things have turned around for you, haven't they?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. And you live with your mom now, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. You were homeschooled for this last year. Now you're back in school now, but you were homeschooled for a while, and from what I'm understanding, that really helped you to be able to feel safe and just to calm down and to make the changes. Can you tell me a little bit about what that felt like to be home with your mom?
It made me feel better because at the time I wasn't really having patience in school and all that, because at the time I was still having a real big temper. And being homeschooled made me calm down a lot because I wasn't around a lot of people that would aggravate me. And then I could have time to think about what I would do, what I should do when I go back to school instead of acting out and fighting.
That's tough work, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it is. Now your mom was able to help you because she started just parenting you a little bit differently. You guys had watched my video, you had read my book, and what do you think the difference was this past year than before?
Because my mom keeps encouraging me, even though it's annoying at times, but that helped. And then having like friends and people that also helped me and tries to keep me calm. And at first it wasn't working. Then I decided to let it work because at first I wasn't wanting to do right. I was just wanting to act up that I didn't care about anything. And then I thought about what I was doing, and then I would get in a lot more trouble and get sentenced for big time.
So at one point you just didn't care, but then you did care. So I'm wondering, what made the difference? Do you know?
Because I had a lot of encouragement and people that tells me that I can do it, and that my mom would sit there with me, even though at first I would hit her, which I stopped because that's wrong. But she sat there with me through it all.
So it was really your mom that just was there with you all the way this past year, wasn't she?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's great.
And then my friends from school.
And your friends from school. So you're back in school now, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me how your progress report. You guys called me and told me about your progress reports. I want you to share that.
I got all A's.
All A's on her progress report, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
That's phenomenal, isn't it? Are you proud of yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I am too. Charlotte, you've been through this, so this tells me that you're the expert now. You know that you're the expert? And so if someone were to ask you, what do other children need? Other kids that are in where you were, 2 or 3 years ago, really struggling. What is it that children really need to get better?
I don't think that children should be in jail, because that's going to make it worse, because all the people are up in your face telling you what to do, when to do, and everything. You have to ask them to go to the bathroom and everything else, and it don't really help people.
Right. So just not to be the kind of place that you were when people were up in your face, because that just made it worse for you, didn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it did. All right, is there anything else that you want to share? Because you've done a great job here. Is there anything else you want to share that people might need to know? Because, like I said, you're the expert. Anything else you want to share?
Just don't give up,
Just don't give up.
because things will get better.